Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Classic Wrestling Series, episode 107. Whew, I've done the Royal Rumble, I've done Money in the Bank, I've done Hell in a Cell, I've done a Stairway to Hell match. There's pretty much nothing I've seen, everything I've seen, except for one pay-per-view from WCW, and one match. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's November 24th, 1996. We're at the Norfolk Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. 10,314 fans witnessed 60 men, 3 rings, 1 battle royal, total destruction, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second ever World War III. I have not seen this match. I don't know how they're going to pull this off. I'm guessing it's going to be, well, obviously, 60 men, 3 wins, 20 men per win. And yeah, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get to our first contest. So we just had it as our first contest, the Ultimate Dragon versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio Jr. repping the Spider-Man costume. Love that. This was a really good matchup, I thought. The Cruiserweights were always really good in WCW, I thought. They didn't really have a chance to shine, I thought, personally, around this time, because obviously the big feud in 1996 was NWO versus WCW. But this was a fun matchup. There was one thing that hurt it, unfortunately, and that was the commentary. There was no Mike Today on commentary, which really fucking sucked. They need Mike Today to basically be able to explain the Lucha Libre versus the Japanese style and stuff like that. So that kind of hurt it for me, but bar that, this was a really good matchup. Tony Schiavone, Dusty Rhodes, and Bobby Heenan managed to do a good job, I thought. A beautiful spinning powerbomb to get the win from to Ultimate Dragon. Really nice, I thought. But again, this was a good match. Crowd were really hyped for it. They were excited. And yeah, this was a good way to kick off the show, I thought. We have got Mean Gene in the show today. I don't know who he's going to be interviewing, but we'll find out in a moment, guys. We'll get back with our next matchup. So we had DDP talking to Mean Gene about the World War III match, and also about his relationship with Eric Bischoff being next door neighbours. Black, doesn't even answer the question and just walks off after talking about World War III and winning the match. Then we had Nick Patrick versus Chris Jericho with one arm tied behind Jericho's back. I don't know why, I kind of found this entertaining. I don't know how the hell Nick Patrick was able to pull this off. And Jericho was absolutely underrated in his WCW run. But obviously, Jericho wins with a super kick, gets to the 1-2-3, with, again, one arm tied behind his back. I liked it, but I also, at the same time, he was flopping around like a damn fish when he was getting hit. It's one of those weird things in life, but at the same time, it worked. I thought it was actually really funny, and to be fair, Nick Patrick was a part of the NWO, so to see one member of the NWO at least get his comeuppance tonight is a good thing. At least they didn't play the damn music. That comes later. Yay. So, we're going to be having matches, talking, so I'm going to be, we'll get to our next contest. So we just had Ric Flair come out and talk to Mean Gene about the war between the NWO and WCW, culminating obviously with World War III. Then we had the Return Grudge match, and the first time we hear the NWO theme tonight. Yay! As the Giant takes on Jeff Jarrett. This was getting okay until Sting comes down to the ring, grabs Jarrett, hits him with a Scorpion Death Drop, and then the Giant hits him Jarrett with a choke slam to get the win. There is no US champion at this current moment in time, as Ric Flair is injured. Sorry about that. And Giant is parading around with the belt. So it's one of those things. For what it was an okay matchup. I mean, Giant's okay. But I do have a weird feeling that something's going to happen tonight that I'm going to be very annoyed at. But this is a fun matchup, quick and painless to a point. I kind of get Sting's interference. It's not Sting, it's someone else playing Sting. So yeah, it's one of those things. But now guys, let's get to our next matchup. So we just had Roddy Piper come out and talk about the match with Hogan coming up on the 29th of next month, which is December. I believe, I don't remember what pay-per-view that would be. But obviously, it's building up a match between Hogan versus Piper, DiBiase, Virgil, and Bischoff come out first. And basically, I love that they actually brought back a reference between Piper and Virgil, saying that Piper was the one who taught Virgil how to fight, how to wrestle. I thought that was actually really ingenious by Piper. Piper's a fucking amazing talker. He's underrated as a talker, I think, personally. He is great on the stick. Personally, I think he's one of the top four. Definitely one of the underrated guys. Eddie definitely underrated. My four underrated talkers: Piper, Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero. When he can and when he talks, Kip Sabian. I think Kip Sabian's a good talker. And who else? Morrison, John Morrison, who's just left WWE. I think he's another good talker. But those are my four underappreciated talkers of the wrestling industry. But it basically signs off the show. Piper's a star. I believe he had hip surgery about a month or a few weeks before World War III took place, I believe. Didn't make Hogan basically saying that he loves to beat up a cripple. Not a good idea. Not a good idea to say, mate. Obviously, the NWO beat him down. Piper shows his temerity and his tremendousness, which I think was a good thing to do. But obviously, signed, sealed, delivered. We're going to be getting Piper versus Hogan at the next show, I believe. I don't know if it's for the title, but we'll be getting that match coming up next month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the amazing French Canadians, PCO and one of the Rougeau brothers. I could be wrong on that one. Taking on Harlem Heat, Stevie Ray and Booker T, obviously. So, ladies and gentlemen, we currently have the goddamn Canadian anthem being sung by both guys. In French, thank God, so we don't have to hear the English version. Nah, I'm joking. It's the French Canadian it's the Canadian anthem, so they have to show their prideness and all that jazz. Which I don't understand why Americans are like, when we do it, it's good. When anyone else does it, it's bad. Don't get it. Really don't get it, guys. But nevertheless, let's get to this matchup. So we just had the amazing French Canadians taking on Harlem Heat in a tag team match, obviously. Where if Harlem Heat won the match, I didn't get to this point, unfortunately. Sister Sherry would get 5 minutes with Colonel Robert Parker in a match. This was an alright match. I mean, it was your typical face versus heel matchup. Obviously, Harlem Heat being the baby faces. It was good. This is just giving Booker time to shine, obviously, to go on to a singles run as WCW World Heavyweight Champion later down the road. And basically, this was just your bod standard match. Booker hits a Harlem Hanover on Olette to win the match. And then after Olette missing a diving senton from Stevie Ray. So Sherry gets the match with Parker, 2 clotheslines, a crossbody off the top rope, and then Parker just rolls out the ring and runs to the back. Obviously, causing him to lose via count out. It was alright, don't get me wrong again. It was just your typical bod standard tag team matchup. We will have the World Tag Team titles on the line as the Outsiders, yay, takes on Faces of Fear and the Nasty Boys in the triangle match for the tag team titles, or a triangle match. Next up, we have Demolentro versus Psychosis. This one can be good. This one should be good. Let's find out. So, we just had Demolentro versus Psychosis for the Cruiserweight Championship, and I gotta admit, this was a entertaining matchup, a lot of technical wrestling. Again, Mike today not being on commentary is annoying. He would be able to bring it all together, make it cohesive, make it make sense, explain the backgrounds of the two wrestlers' wrestling abilities, the technical wrestling from Demolentro, and the Lucha Libre style of Psychosis. But again, Tony, Dusty, and Bobby do a good enough job to kind of hold it all together, but if they had Mike today, it would make more cohesiveness at the end of the day. Mr. Demolentro gets the win after a backslide. Very entertaining, actually. Again, good match. just a bit sad about the commentary not being able to have Mike today on. But again, he is going to be in our main event, the War Games, not War Games, but World War 3 match. But our penultimate matchup is a triangle match for the tag team titles. We've got the Outsiders, yay, we heard the goddamn music again, the Faces of Fear and the Nasty Boys. So let's do this. So we just had the triple triangle ladder match, bloody hell, thinking of another show, the triangle match, with the Outsiders, Faces of Fear and Nasty Boys. This was very, very brutal. Like, there was a lot of fighting in this match. Like, there's Min, Barbarian, the Nasty Boys, Hall and Nash. So yeah, there was a lot of like legit potatoes being thrown to a degree. It was entertaining, don't get me wrong, it was good. At one point, Hall and Nash were tagged in to fight. Hall just lays down. Nash lays down, Hall tries to pin him, and then it breaks into a schmoz. And then at the end, Joey Sads gets hit with the megaphone for Kevin Nash to hit the powerbomb for the win. Weird thing is, it wasn't actually Joey Sads who was legal. It was Hall. So yeah, WCW ruins everything. No, it was a complicated, weird mess, and the ref was, the ref actually got hit a couple of times as well. Looked brutal, if I'm honest with you. But again, this is just three teams just having a match for having a match's sake. It was okay for what it was, but yeah. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have the clusterfuck known as World War 3. Let's do this. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. So we've just had the walkout of all the wrestlers. We're having it now. And all of a sudden, Benoit walks out. Holy shit, that guy is battered. Holy crap. So the last night in Baltimore, there was a match between Kevin Sullivan and Chris Benoit. Obviously playing up the feud that they had. And yeah, the entire Dungeon of Doom kicked the shit into him. No joke, they kicked the crap out of him, and yeah, he's got scars. Holy crap, he looks battered. They did play it up a little bit as well afterwards. Bobby Heenan just turns around and goes, "Did he get hit with a car?" And here we are, Dungeon of Doom, Benoit and Sullivan. What else is new, guys? Let's do this. So we just had World War 3, 1996, and holy shit, this match was a clusterfuck. The entire Four Horsemen and the Dungeon of Doom get eliminated instantly because they brawled in the crowd. This was just a clusterfuck. This is why this just didn't catch on, because 3 wins, 20 men per win, 60 men in total. It was just fucking chaotic. Giant wins after eliminating Kevin Nash and Lex Luger. The crowd were behind Luger. They wanted him to win, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Nash was eliminated first by Luger, technically. Then Luger was eliminated by the Giant. But at the end of the day, what did I think of this show? It was a alright show, don't get me wrong. It was entertaining. Just to do a little bit of reviewing the reception. To be fair, 118,000 in ticket sales with an attendance again of 10,314. The buy rate of this pay-per-view was a 0.55. That's actually pretty low for WCW around this time. It was reviewed. It was a much better World War 3 than last year's show. Cruiserweight matches were good, don't get me wrong. Enjoyable triple threat power tag match. That was really good, actually, I have to admit. But again, at this point, the NWO hadn't really amalgamated into this bullshit that it would become into, which was good, thank God. But yeah, it's actually worth a look. I mean, if you've got the network, definitely check it out. If you've got a DVD, rewatch it, because I gotta admit, I was entertained. What did I think of the show overall? It was a hit and miss. Ultimo Dragon vs. Rey Mysterio Jr. was damn good. Giant vs. Jarrett was meh. The triangle match for the tag titles, that was entertaining as all hell. Demolentro vs. Psychosis, that was another good match. Yeah, there were good matches. It was just, World War 3 was just, it was just sluggish, overbearing, too many wrestlers involved. So, guys, thank you very much for watching the CWS episode 107. I will be back next week, hopefully with a new episode. And also, we will be back tonight with AEW Dynamite. And then Sunday is War Games. Yay! So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later tonight for AEW Dynamite. I'm hoping.